It's the fans' choice, but Shane Van Boening is no fan of it. He's played in both previous stagings and lost both times. 5-1 against Joshua Filler last year and 5-2 the year before that against Jayson Shaw. Lose yourself in this.
Yeah, pretty exciting match we have here. Jayson Shaw, obviously everybody wanted to see this matchup. So Shane's looking really sharp. Shaw was looking really good yesterday, so this will be exciting.
It was actually very nearly Van Boening against Filler again. It was pretty close between Filler and Shaw on the European side of the vote before the Scot came out on top. Van Boening was a fairly comfortable winner of the fans' poll on the American side.
Yeah, I figured it'd be a toss-up between Jayson and Filler, but probably judging off of yesterday's performance, I'm sure.
Here we go then, night 2. And Jayson Shaw hits the first shot of what promises to be another intriguing evening in Coventry.
Very solid break right there. Got a little kiss on the one. Ran the cue ball up table, but looks like a pretty unfortunate kiss there. Leaving him not much of an option, but probably a decent safety. A lot of balls to hide behind. Playing pretty basic. Cut the one to the back rail and bank it to the back rail and send the cue ball up by the 9, probably a couple rails. Pretty simple. A lot of balls to get him behind here. Perfect.
You were at the eve of tournament press conference, Joey. It was very, very spiky, and you were very much at the heart of that. And a lot of personal rivalries seem to be revealed at that, and none more so than between these two, Van Boening and Shaw. The thing is, it seems nobody, except perhaps just Shaw and Van Boening themselves, really knows what that's all about.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's a mystery to me because I haven't been around the Mosconi scene for a long time, so obviously they were talking about something like that. But, you know, regardless, beefs or not, it's all about the pool and, you know, I mean, obviously everybody wants to see somebody have a grudge. Everybody can't be friends, but at the end of the day, if there wasn't rivalries, nobody would elevate to the top level.
Yeah, so long as it doesn't get out of hand, I think it enhances a tournament like this. And what an opening night it was. If you had that many unusual occurrences and unexpected turns of fate across the whole 4 days, you might say it was a fairly eventful Mosconi Cup. But to have so much happen in one night really made quite a start to building an intriguing narrative.
Well, now that was definitely a unfortunate scenario to miss the 3. I mean, it's hard to go all the way around that ball. Because I mean, as much as this table slides, you got to think he was going to get the break out there. So now looking to probably kick and play offensively. Nice little lag to the rail, but left a bank.
Start of a busy night for Jayson Shaw. He's going to be involved in 3 of the 5 matches. Doubles with Joshua Filler against Skylar Woodward and Chris Robinson next up. And he'll be playing the last match of the night, singles against Billy Thorpe.
Yeah, going to be pretty exciting. Jayson did look pretty sharp yesterday. Not many mistakes. No unforced errors, I don't believe.
Extension call.
But this is definitely going to be an exciting day for everybody.
Europe looking to build on that overnight lead, and I have to say their chances of doing that rest to a very large extent on Shaw, just because he's going to be involved so much throughout the evening.
Yeah, that's very true. And this is I mean, believe it or not, extremely big match. I mean, they're all big matches, but you know, you get to think starting off the day with a victory off of the fans' choices. A lot of momentum building.
Extension call.
Now on this jump shot, he does have a good angle if he pockets it to get a good shot on the pink. Ooh.
Ball in hit.
And that's a difficult thing on this table. It's very, I mean, it's easy to get the cue ball in the air, so you can have a tendency to baby it a little bit. And that's kind of what it seemed like he did.
Only once ever in Las Vegas 13 years ago as a team recovered from more than a point behind at the end of the first day to win the Mosconi Cup. Europe were 4-1 down after day one, but turned it round to win in the US for the first time back in 2007. So it was really important that Van Boening got that last point on the board to stop Europe building a lead, because we've seen it so often. You get the momentum on the first day. It's amazing how often that ends up being carried through all the way to the finish.
Oh, you couldn't have said it better. I mean, I think last night's match, that final game with Albin, was that was a classy match. I mean, really, both players played excellent. Shane really made a clutch, crucial out there at the end to save from being down 4-1, which is a pretty commanding lead.
Yeah, and the fact that it came against someone who's been such a talisman for Europe in recent years, that certainly added to it for Van Boening. So the Americans finished the day on a bit of a high, but it's Europe who lead. Van Boening looking here to draw it level, and it looks as though he's going to get off to a good start.
Pretty nice shot. Maybe wanted to come out a little bit more. He doesn't want to come too flat on this because these balls cut so easy. You want to play them thicker down that rail with about a medium stroke so you can get the max amount out of the cue ball. But he's probably going to, looks like he might float this down just enough so he can come one rail out. Oh, he loves that shot too. That's a good shot. Wow. Very confident stroke there. Should be routine from here. Just float it one rail back up and take a 1-0 lead.
Playing in his 14th Mosconi Cup in a row. He's only been on the winning side in 3 of the previous 13.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you think about it. The transformation with Shane on the Mosconi. I think the care factor and the pride factor has really shown up. But the leadership role, like we keep mentioning, you know, with these boys, they look up to Shane so much and respect what he has to say, and how his work ethic is undeniable.
A lot was said during America's long losing streak, Joey, about Van Boening and the fact that he wasn't contributing that many points. But to be fair to him, he wasn't really doing any worse than most of the Americans during that time. Everyone on the team seemed to be struggling.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and that's what we talked about in we did a loose pool podcast with Emily and talking about that fact, having a lot of leaders on a team. I mean, if you took the 5 best basketball players in the league, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to win the national championship. There might be too much there. Not one person can take the leadership role, so that's very difficult. I would rather take one person who plays extremely well, like, say, Michael Jordan, how he brought the Bulls, that he made them great. And that's kind of what Shane is doing with USA.
Leading one.
Well, we saw the highlights there of that opening rack, and it was getting ball in hand that proved to be the decisive moment. Shane Van Boening 1-0 up, and he has the break in rack 2.
Watch out, 8. Watch out, 8. Tangled up the 1, didn't it?
Yeah, we always say it, don't we? You don't have any real idea how a break has turned out until all the balls have come to rest.
Oh, yeah. That's what cracks me up when somebody breaks the balls and they see they've got a shot on the 1 and they turn around to grab their playing cue and then, oh, wow, where'd that ball come from? They like to say the last ball rolling. Well, now it looks like he's going to have some type of a safety, maybe just barely baby it over and leave him locked up on the 8. Nice shot. Don't think he left him a rail. Very difficult jump shot. Don't know if that's possible. May have to kick 3 rails possibly. I can't see. No, that's not there.
Extension call.
Just a very touchy spin shot. If he's going to try to twist this around the 8, that is just super touchy, because if you don't catch it just right, it's not going to grab the spin at all.
32 years of age now. Jayson from Glasgow, the only Scottish player ever to play in the Mosconi Cup. The highlight of his individual career, winning the US Open in 2017.
That's pretty interesting. You know, I'd like to see how many other players over there, because I haven't heard of too many. I mean, that play at an elite level. So it's pretty interesting how high he elevated his game, and he really has over the years. So he put Jayson in a very difficult spot. I think that he could have potentially tried to kick 3 rails and bend it around, but really didn't have much. So left Shane with an opportunity to go 2 games up.
Yeah, ball in hand could be all important again. Just been an absolute colossus of the game, a winning machine for about a decade and a half now. Never been world champion, although he's been in the final twice. What he has done is win the US Open 5 times, and that's generally regarded among the players as a bigger and more prestigious title anyway, not least because of the history behind it.
Yeah, Shane loves that event. Not many events he doesn't like to play in, obviously, but he really feels at home in the US Open, as it's been known. But good work here, getting on that 3 ball. I mean, absolutely perfect.
The last time he won the US Open to tie Earl Strickland's record of 5 titles was in 2016. He beat Jayson to reach the final. Close one that, 11-9. Then saw off Younglin Chang to equal the record. Hasn't actually been able to overtake Strickland yet, but he hasn't had that many chances because the tournament didn't take place in 2018. And of course, it was called off this year, sadly. And that year of 2016 was just magnificent for him. That was one of 9 titles he won that year. Some with brilliant names. The Pick Your Poison Challenge was among them. And it completed a treble because he'd also won the US Open title in 2 other pool disciplines that year.
Oh, yeah, he wanted to draw that ball back much more on the 3, but it's such a touchy shot on this slick felt. Landed real funny on that 5 ball and tried to spin it 2 rails, and that's just a difficult shot to get the correct amount of spin so it doesn't slide. So he may be going for the carom here, it looks like. Now watch the cue ball. Did it come out? I believe it did. What a shot that was. Must have dressed up pretty good, because from here it looked like it was going to be much tougher.
You were talking there, Joey, about how fast the playing surface is, and it was one of the big talking points of last night. Is it something the players have been talking about today, about maybe trying different ways of coping with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, trying to recreate the scenario as much as possible, and the practice table is completely different than this. You know, it plays a lot more true like a regular table outside at the pool hall or something like that, but you cannot recreate this scenario enough. But they try as much as they can and have to really think about the shots that they're shooting upstairs to be like the shots in here, because they don't react the same at all down here as they will up there. So like when you're going to draw the ball, you have to be very fluid and very smooth, and instead upstairs you can be a little bit quicker, you can miss hit it a little bit, but you do that down here, you're going to lose it. Big 9 ball here. Big 9 ball. Ooh, overcut.
So ball in hand, not decisive in the second rack as it was in the first. Shaw can't really have been expecting to come back to the table prior to that, but once he saw where Van Boening had left himself on the 9 ball, Joey, it was never guaranteed.
Yeah, it's a difficult shot, and like we say, I mean, that's one of the things on this slicker felt. The balls cut more because they don't take any slide, or they don't have any friction. Big bank there by Jayson, tying it up 1-1.
Yeah, it looked for all the world like it was going 2-0.
So yeah, that's what I was saying about the slick felt and the balls being brand new like that. When you cut a ball, there is 0 friction. And so the cue ball kind of pushes off of it, and it makes it just that much more difficult.
This is the one that was missed. Never really got that close in the end. And this is Shaw's response to it.
Yeah, big shot there. Difficult for me to watch. I don't like my man missing a 9-ball, but hey, you know, trying to commentate and keep things fair. But big game for Jayson there. I mean, extremely big to retain the break, because going down 2-0, losing on your serve when you win the lag is always difficult in a race to 5. Maintaining the break when it's even is crucial.
We don't expect too much fairness from you, Joey. We know which mast your colours are pinned to, and that's all fine.
If the break, you have the break.
So Jayson Shaw unexpectedly finds himself level at 1-all. He has the break in rack 3.
Good break, didn't get the 1. You might have got a piece of it here, though. Yeah, I noticed on Shane's break as well, the 1 ball caught the point. That one caught the bottom point. And very fortunate for Shane that Shaw doesn't have a clear shot. I mean, he does have a bank, but that's a little iffy. I mean, you know, he might elect to go for it, but in my opinion, that's not the shot. I think that really try to find some type of a safety, but that doesn't look like there's one there either. I mean, he may even try to cut this ball on the side, because if you miss the cut, you can come 2 rails underneath the 2 and leave the 1 by the 5. It's really not a terrible shot, to be honest, because if you make the 1, you're golden. If you miss it, then you'll probably get a safe behind the 2.
Such a competitive individual. He was practicing a lot during lockdown, but he was doing it on his own at home, so he was getting out playing a bit of golf as well whenever he could, just to feed those competitive instincts that he has.
Yeah, I find that was huge during the quarantine, is trying to find something, well, still trying to find something that you can get outside and do without being socially distanced. I went for the bank, and that's just such a tough shot. You can see how wide that ball came. It's just, I think I liked the thin shot, but you know, that's the reason he's out there and I'm in here.
Extension court.
He's been around such a long time, Van Boening. He won his first of those 5 US Opens, only 24 years of age, all the way back in 2007. Fell asleep with the trophy in his lap on the plane home, so the legend goes.
Very good strike there. That was a pretty stroke. Shane practices religiously on those type of shots, and they show up just so much. And people don't realize, I mean, under the gun, when you're having to draw and kill a ball, it's very difficult.
It was a curious thing about the early Mosconi Cups that in the first 5 stagings, the team in front after the opening day never actually went on to win it. Now that ended in 1999. An American team, including their current captain Jeremy Jones, led 3-0 after the first day and went on to win 12-7. And that started a run where in the last 21 years, there have only been 4 times that the team leading after the opening day has not finished the week lifting the Mosconi Cup. So we were talking earlier about the momentum of the opening day. We do have to remember, of course, that we were in exactly the same position this time last year. USA 3-2 behind after the opening day. But they turned it around then. In fact, they were the first team to win, having been behind at the end of day 1 for 7 years.
Really interesting facts there. Definitely have got the information down for the fans. I like that. And it's crazy how with this format, you'll probably see a lot of that in the future, because it's a tricky format to get these guys lined up where you want them. Sorry, I'm so focused on him shooting. I'm like, my nerves, you know, it's so much harder to watch than it is to play. Obviously, I don't really want to be out there playing. I wouldn't have anybody else, but at least I have some control if I miss every ball I shoot at. When I'm sitting on the sidelines, my palms are, I can barely hold this mic. It's slipping through my hands.
I think the only person more focused at the moment is Shane Van Boening himself.
Very true. Just draw this ball back. Go up 2-1.
Yeah, it's been an interesting start. Looked like he was going to lead 2-0. Didn't. But Shane Van Boening does lead Jayson Shaw in the opening match of the night by 2-1. Blow-for-blow stuff in Coventry on the second night of the Party Poker Mosconi Cup between two titans of the 9-ball game. Jayson Shaw banked the 9 for 1-all. Shane Van Boening immediately grabbed back the lead at 2-1, and he has the break in rack 4.
USA to break, leading by 2 racks to 1.
No dry breaks so far from either player.
Oh, I was really hoping for the announcer's curse not to get us there, but didn't get a shot though. That's the ball just didn't come off correct. I mean, he had a little spin on it. He made the 1 on the side, which he's been trying to do, but no love on the 2-ball.
So many talking points and curiosities already in this Mosconi Cup, Joey, and one of the biggest ones is the real lack of break and runs that we've seen so far.
Yeah, definitely. The table's been breaking tough. A lot of funny layouts, but in my professional opinion, I would rather see that than everybody making the wing ball and getting perfect shape on the one and looking like robots. You know, this makes it more interesting, a little bit more random, and actually a little bit more skill. A lot of methodical play, not just all position and shot making.
Well, you think back, I mean, if last night had been standard stuff and everyone had been breaking and running and playing really well, we probably wouldn't have remembered it for that long. And as it is, we'll be talking about last night for a long time to come.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it was a pretty wild night to watch, you know, a lot of unforced errors. And you know, you think about the scenario and really just the past year whenever you think about, I mean, the COVID, not being able to compete for so long, it doesn't matter how much you practice. You can't recreate pressure. It's just not possible. You can't create an environment like the Mosconi pressure as much as you practice. It just doesn't matter.
That's the thing, these players haven't been out in a big arena like this, center stage, all the TV lighting and everything, for about 12 months now.
And another miss, I mean, you know, that wasn't exactly a hanger, but a shot that you just don't see Shaw miss that wide, and just very just miss hit. And these side pockets are very difficult. I mean, that's the thing. I've talked about it with a lot of these guys, and you want to avoid the sides as much as possible, especially from funny angles.
Just looking at Shaw, he doesn't really seem to have settled into the match yet, and I wonder sometimes when you talk yourself into a rivalry, as he did to some extent with Shane Van Boening at the press conference, I don't think it helps you going into the match.
You know what? I mean, you set yourself up a little bit, and you can put that extra pressure. Like, I mean, I talked to Shane a little bit in the practice room, and I mean, he's just prepared. I mean, he wasn't even he didn't care who he had to play. I mean, obviously, I'm sure Jayson was thinking the same thing, but they knew they were going to have to play Shane. I think, you know, you got to have that feeling that Shane was probably going to be the clear-cut decision for America, but it was kind of up in the air for sure who it was going to be. So having that adrenaline from a rivalry where you've created it, I think that can actually hurt you a lot, because then you're forced to back it up.
Yeah, he expects so much of himself, Shaw. He's such great desire and intensity, which has served him well many times, but it's not working for him in this match.
Yeah, that rare miss right there, and Shane's off to the races. Really just concerned about this 8-ball. Came a little bit flatter on this 6 than he would have liked, but he does like playing this ball 3 rails. He may even just drag it out and take a wider angle. Just coming 1 rail with a little low English, just holding it over. But it's a little bit touchier shot, but Shane's very good at cueing low and just having that nice kill drag. But I would probably personally go around 3 rails. Shane's very good at this shot. Just like that. See how it just died off that side rail? It's a very, very touchy shot, but it's super crucial to have on these conditions. Now this 8, it's very difficult to get on that carom properly. He may be looking to come in behind the 9 and get some kind of a shot. Just like that. What a shot. Very nice.
I think that's the best shot we've seen so far tonight. Maybe even the best we've seen so far in the Mosconi Cup.
I mean, that was executed absolutely perfect. The way he planned, knew it was going to drag off that rail, off the 9. Now just a 9 in the side away from a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, and when you think about how he lost the second rack, realise how easily he could have been going 4-0 up with this.
Very true.
But he'll still be very happy with that. Shane Van Boening putting a bit of daylight between himself and Jayson Shaw. It's now 3-1.
3-1 in a match, a race to 5. It's very, very huge. You get a lot more breaks to win the match or gain the lead.
Just before we see Jayson Shaw break here, Joey, I'm going to ask you to elaborate on something you said there about how awkwardly the balls are breaking so far in this tournament. Why would something like that happen? Why would a trend like that emerge?
I mean, you know, it's just whenever every table's different, and when you think about these brand new balls, as slick as they are, and I mean, it's just a way that they set. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and if there's one thing just slightly off with brand new equipment, and not saying that there's anything off in my mind, this table breaks tough. I mean, it's not, the pockets are very tight, you know, so a lot of these wing balls you'll see are hitting very, very, very close to the pocket or rattling out. So a lot of it is finding the right speed and the right tempo, and I like to see by day 3, everybody having the break figured out completely. I mean, Shane's not struggling too bad. He did great last night against, and look at Chris Robinson. His break was probably the best out of both groups.
Jayson Shaw needs to start making something happen here, or Europe could be in danger of losing the opening match for the second night in a row.
And to be honest, Jayson's been breaking well. He just hasn't gotten many shots. And judging on this 5, I believe he got there, so I think he has a clear shot. And you notice how he didn't really put a whole lot on those. You know, you see how the wing ball went straight in. It's finding that right speed, and so I love how the wing ball isn't just flying in every single time and making it a little bit more of a grind battle for every player. Look at this. Ooh, I don't know. I think he got there. It looked like he might have overran his mark just a hair. Ooh, no.
Not much room to breathe there. We talked about that US Open win for Jayson Shaw back in 2017. It came during a wonderful spell that he had for a couple of years. He's won about $700,000 in his career, and about half of that came during a really great spell in 2016 and 17. In the first of those years, he won 14 tournaments. The Challenge of Champions in New Jersey, the highly lucrative Kuwait Open, and finished the year by delivering the clinching point in the Mosconi Cup on his debut. I mean, that would be a career year for most players, but to then go on and win the biggest title of his career the following season, it was an extraordinary time for him.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. He's already had an unbelievable career, and he's a legend, I mean, already, and enjoyable to watch play. But all that aside, I'm hoping Shane can pull this out. No more compliments. A nice shot there, just coming 2 rails out. And that's another thing with it. You want to play just enough angle to where you can hit the ball full with a little bit of a pace. You don't want to have to try to clip balls in on these tables, because funny things can happen. You can overrun your mark just by a little adrenaline, just a touch of adrenaline. We saw it with Chris when he played Kachi. Just a touch of adrenaline, and he lost the cue ball real bad and ended up losing the match.
So pretty routine stuff here in rack 5 for Scotland's Jayson Shaw. He's hanging in nicely, still trails Shane Van Boening, but now it's only by 3 racks to 2. Just going back to talking about the break, Joey, and the fact that the players are trying to get it figured out here, is a big part of that, watching other players and what they do and seeing what works for them.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, we've got some very, very, very knowledgeable players on our squad. I mean, Corey, interesting enough, he could explain the rack to anybody in the world, and he saw several breaks, and he knows exactly which balls aren't racking correctly whenever they break a certain way, which is a lot of information. You know, Skylar even said it. He was like, I really want to know that much, but I don't want to know that much.
Joshua Filler, who we'll be seeing shortly. He's not working on his break, not at the moment anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, to answer your question just a minute ago, you watch the other players and see where they're breaking from, and gauge their speed and try to recreate it obviously if they hit a great shot or a great break.
Skylar Woodward and Chris Robinson there putting in a bit of work. We'll be seeing them in the next match, of course. They'll be up against Filler, who we just saw there, and Jayson Shaw.
Yeah, Chris has been looking real sharp. Skylar's ready.
Rack 6.
I'm excited to watch that doubles match.
Leading by 3 racks to 2.
Look at this break. Pretty unfortunate. Actually, unbelievably unfortunate to break him that well and to not get a result. I mean, how does that happen? That's just pretty cold-blooded. Three balls in the break and squat the cue ball, you would think that you would have a wide open shot.
Famously, of course, Efren Reyes once potted 6 balls on the break-off shot and didn't win the rack.
It's funny how often that happens. I think, hate to call somebody out, Alex Pagulayan's got one online from when he was real young, playing in a tournament where he made, I think he made 6, I believe, and missed the 7.
Extension called. Push out called.
So what options has he got here?
Looking like he's just going to have to obviously push out down to the back cushion, but you don't want to leave it too low where he has a super simple safety, but you don't want to leave it too high where you can cut it in. Now he may be pushing out to a jump. Now that's interesting. I like that. I mean, as far as trying to kick and just get some distance, he's probably going to try to kick and get the pink to come up by the purple, but no, he just gave it back. I think Shane, I've watched him play quite a bit. I mean, I watched him play Orcola recently, a race to 120, and did a lot of commentary on that. He likes to push out to where he's going to get the shot back because he doesn't like letting his opponent to the table at all. And he's also very, very, very knowledgeable about kick safes and stuff like that. One pocket player, bank pool player, all kinds of stuff. But he's left a pocket here. Easy to lose the cue ball here. I'm not sure how he's going to play it. I mean, playing this ball with speed, you're running into traffic. And playing a safety, you know, it's just not very really there. I think you have to roll at this ball with enough speed where you can hold for the 5. But it's just real easy to lose that cue ball down low. I'm not even sure if it's possible. I guess, yeah, it is. He has plenty of angle here.
Could be the defining shot in this rack.
Very nice. Executed that shot really well. It was a lot touchier than it looked. I know he made that look super easy.
As we said, he could so easily have been 4-0 down. As it was, he trailed 3-1, and it all seemed to be slipping away from him. But here he is now, closing in on leveling at 3 apiece.
Yeah, I mean, just unfortunate for Shane. I mean, the best break he's hit probably since it started. You know, I mean, making 3 balls and stopping the cue ball absolutely perfectly. 1 in the side, getting hooked, and had a tough kick safe.
All of which led to this chance.
I was wondering, it looked like he might have squeaked over a little much, but I think he got there.
We're seeing a lot of positional shots being overrun, aren't we? And again, it comes back to that slick surface.
Yeah, it's real different. I mean, it's different than anything else in the world. I was talking about it a little bit yesterday in comparison to golf, like, you know, playing on the Masters versus your public course. I mean, you're not going to putt very well out in the Masters unless you're completely comfortable. And so it's the same situation.
Well, speaking of the Masters, the green jacket is awarded to the US Open champion. Jayson Shaw was the winner of that title a few seasons ago. He's the winner of this rack, 2 in a row for him. He's pulled it back to 3-all against Shane Van Boening in this crucial opening match of the second night.
Yeah, super big game right there.
I've got to ask you, Joey, about this tiger that Carl Boyes has with him in the arena, just as Carl walks out, actually. Perhaps you can explain this better than I can, because it actually involves you, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, you know, Joe Exotic Oklahoma native, serving a little time. And, you know, he calls me Joey Exotic. He's got jokes, and I think Carl's pretty funny. He, you know, he likes to make a lot of things, a lot of jokes, and make everything kind of about him, but I'm about my team. I don't really make things about me, so I don't have time for trash talk.
Funny that we were talking about Augusta and the Masters, and then we see a Tiger. And also, you hear the boys are back in town. Well, the boys who we were just talking about has left the room because he got up and walked out. Perhaps can't take the tension of this opening match on the second night, just as we were talking about him. So what a finish we're in for now to this fans' choice match. 3-3.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. Very good break. Gauging on this 4. Landed perfect. Can't ask for a better break.
Do you feel he's gradually figuring out the break as this match goes on?
I would imagine. I mean, he's broke perfect the whole time. It seems like he's got a couple of kisses here or there. But, I mean, his last break and run and this one, I mean, they've been tic-tac-toe out. So, looks like the balls are breaking a little bit better today already. Pretty basic. I mean, you couldn't really. I mean, this is a pretty simple out. But, I mean, 3 to the 5, 6, 7. I mean, tic-tac-toe. Hard to lose anything from here. Looks like Shaw's probably going to take that 1-game lead. Granted, a miracle doesn't happen, but that's how big the break is. I mean, you know, that whenever you're seeing the momentum of having a perfect break in a race to 5, that's really where it all comes down. And Shane really just, I mean, an unfortunate roll with that ball just creeping right up on it. So there's the difference. Getting a shot, not getting a shot.
And all the momentum has just shifted here at 3-1. Van Boening was looking very comfortable. Shaw was looking edgy. But the Scot has produced an admirable response.
So it looks like Shane's going to have to respond. And, you know, I mean, what else is he going to do? I mean, he made 3 balls in the break and stopped the cue ball dead perfect. So, and almost executed the kick safe like he wanted. It just a tough shot. I mean, tough scenario. So hopefully Shane can get a tic-tac-toe break and fade one of Jayson's breaks.
Jayson Shaw was 3-1 down, but he now leads Shane Van Boening by 4 racks to 3. He's on the hill in this opening match of the second night in Coventry. So Shane Van Boening on the brink of losing the fans' choice match for the 3rd year in a row.
Yeah, little pool left to play, but I mean, gauging off of Jayson's break, that's going to be tough to fade, tough to overcome. So hopefully Shane can do what he does and hope for the best.
As I said, Shaw's played well to turn this round, but Van Boening hasn't really done a great deal wrong to surrender the strong position he was in.
No, I mean, but it does look back. I mean, the only mistake really was that missed 9-ball. I mean, that's the only game that you can really look back at. Yeah,
and from there he went on to lead by 3 racks to 1. But since then, it's really been more a question of what Shaw's done right rather than any big errors on Van Boning's part. Yeah. Still no dry breaks in the match. What can Van Boening produce here?
Look at this. Goodness gracious.
How many times have we seen this tonight?
Just unfortunate. I mean, you know, what do you do? gonna have to push out. So, you know, you can still grind it out and maybe turn it into a little bit of a safety battle, and hopefully if you can get the advantage and make him uncomfortable.
Push out called.
But Jayson's got to love seeing that. I mean, it's pretty, he's hoping for sure to end it right here. He doesn't want to have to break and run hill, but we'll see how this plays out.
The stakes so high now for Van Boening, Joey. He knows his next mistake could be his last in this match.
Yeah, definitely. You just don't want your opponent at the table with any easy looks, so Shane's going to have to come with a pretty decent safety here. Banking the 1, I'm assuming right up by the 7, and coming over behind the 8, but I mean, everything's so touchy on this equipment, but he may be banking this up and coming behind the 7, or cutting it to the right and coming behind the 7. It's, oh, he went at it and played it. Oh, wow. No, he played the thick bank. That was a good shot.
Let's have another look at that.
And that's all skill right there. I mean, controlling the cue ball. He may have been playing a little bit of a two-way, but it's fortunate he hit it thick enough to control it. Pretty good shot there. Now, did this 2-ball wire up in the corner? Can he kick one rail and make this 2? Doubtful. Probably go to look to clip this ball and come around 3 rails, but goodness gracious, it's so easy to get that ball to come out. So he's just going to keep it simple and just lock him up.
Called.
Right up on top of the 1. And this is what I was saying. I mean, if you can turn this into a little bit of a safety battle, eliminate the momentum of him running balls, which it seems like Jayson really feeds off. Once he gets going, he's like a freight train, you know. I mean, all these guys are, but Jayson especially. I mean, everybody knows. And if you've witnessed it, it's a brutal sight. But if Shane can slow him down just a little bit and somehow grind this game out, it might make a difference in the way he performs hill.
Extension call.
Now this shot, it looks, I mean, it's definitely nothing easy, but I'm looking at, I would play the 1-2 and probably try to come underneath or over by the 9. Carry that ball up. That's a very touchy shot, and I think he executed it very well. Very touchy. So easy to lose the cue ball there. I mean, these guys are, it's unbelievable how good their touch is, and that's, I mean, I have a lot of respect for that as a one-pocket player and understanding what the heat, but not this kind of heat, but I understand the heat, and to shoot a touchy shot like that under pressure is very difficult. Wow. What a shot. I mean, you just had to get up there and go. And he hit it well. But does he have a pocket for the 2? I don't think so.
No, it doesn't look like it, does it?
Just touchy. Locked him up really well. Very nice.
Well, that's just perfection, isn't it, that shot?
I mean, this level of pool is just fascinating. And when you got 2 guys that want to win as bad as they do, you can feel it.
Just stop the clock, please.
Shane
Can
Van
you set the
Boening
clock on
finished
20
last
seconds
night
again,
with a
please?
hill match. Worked out pretty well for him. He's desperately hoping now he can find himself starting this evening embroiled in another hill encounter.
Yeah, and that was what I was talking about earlier.
clock,
You know, holding your serve. I mean, it's
Stop the clock, please.
looks like we've got a
20
little
seconds again. Sorry, guys.
little bug problem going on here.
A little visitor, yes, Marcel Eckhart dealing with that.
Yeah, we were a little afraid.
Stop the clock, please.
Chris is allergic to bees, and there was a bee flying around during his match last night.
Well, there was a real buzz about the place on opening night of the Mosconi.
Look at this shot. What a shot.
Marcel Eckhart, the German referee we referred to there, refereed the World Snooker Championship for the first time earlier this year, as Ronnie O'Sullivan became champion for the 6th time.
Banking this up, it looks like, and coming behind the 7. Difficult shot. Oh, he came thin. Where's the white ball going to be? Did he have enough pace on it? I think he did. Left him a jump. I mean, that's just unbelievable. Look, I mean, how great these, you know, everybody knows they shoot straight. But executing extremely touchy shots under the pressure is it's just, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, and the ability to switch between that and break and run outs and really good potting, so impressive.
Now, where's this cue ball going? Stopped. Shane should definitely be out from here. Looks like we very, very high likely chance of a hill-hill match here.
Yeah, it's all pretty straightforward. It's just a matter of holding your nerve, getting the job done. And we've seen many players already in this Mosconi Cup unable to do that. Looked certain to win particular racks and then just threw in an unexpected error along the way. But if there's one man on the American team, Joey, who you'd want in a position like this to hold his nerve and take it to hill-hill, it's the man at the table.
That's absolutely correct. I mean, Shane's a monster all the way around. I mean, the way he played that 2-ball safety was just, it's not many people are willing to take chances like that. But look at this, just clipping the 8, not getting the angle that he wanted. Does he just take the long shot here? Or does he let his stroke out and come up? He might let his stroke out and come short side here, but he might stun it over too. Just take a little cut. He tried to do that and left himself a bank. Now he may cut this ball, but looks like more he's going for the bank here. Absolutely perfect.
He's getting the job done here, Joey, but the body language suggests he is feeling it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, no matter who you are, you're going to feel it. You can't fake it. You just have to accept it and roll with it and trust your process. And nobody's got a better process than Shane. Nice shot. Dragging over, not trying to get too cute. Just come around for a better shot. Just taking what you got and trusting your ability.
This for 4-4. With that, Jayson Shaw has got company on the hill. Shane van Boening had lost 3 racks in a row, but he's won that one. It's 4 apiece.
Very nice shot there. Going for, I mean, even getting a little out of line on the 6. Taking the rack down.
But here's the thing, Joey. Jayson Shaw has got the break, and he's been breaking very well in the last few racks.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do at the end of the day is, you know, like Shane, he said a few times, he said, I can only do what I can do, and leave the rest to the world. You know, I mean, if Jayson breaks and runs, he breaks and runs. If he drinks dry, whatever. You know, it is what it is. But all you can do is your job and try to apply the pressure, and that's what happened. But Jayson has been breaking perfect this whole match. And getting some good looks too, not getting any funny kisses on the cue ball. We'll see what happens.
Well, for Shane van Boening, that 8th rack was all about asking the question of Jayson Shaw. He's done that. What will be the Glaswegians' answer?
Deciding rack.
Hill-hill in the opening match of night 2 at the Mosconi.
Cue ball got kissed and left him a I mean, he broke them perfect. The wing ball is flying in, so it looks like we're going to see a big difference from day one with breaks like that. Definitely has a pretty good safety here, and he's got the 7 ball to cover it up in case so he doesn't overrun it. He can just clip the 1 down by the second diamond, or even just less, and just make sure he gets down by the 7. Oh, he went that route. I like clipping that ball because it makes it so much harder to get a good hit on the 1. But you know, you learn on this, just take the guaranteed safety. Don't take any chances. Don't try to get too cute. And I mean, that's a good spot to be, obviously, but he does have a rail.
So much at stake here. We've spoken about the growing personal rivalry between them. And also the chance for Europe to go 2 ahead in the match.
Yeah, big game. Big kick shot right here. Good hit. Where's the cue ball going to go? 1 ball. Stayed up. Unbelievable. That ball looked like it was sliding right in and just held.
Still looking at it now, thinking, how is it not dropping? We've seen that so often, so many balls left just over the pocket in these first 6 matches as it is now.
Now, to be honest, this shot right here is not as clear-cut as it looks. That ball is very deep, and gauging the way this cue ball is going to come out is, I mean, truly just it's a pretty much a guess. I mean, unless you can kick and go 3 rails, it's very, very deep, and he doesn't like it because the way this table slides, if you put any high English at all, it's just going to spin too much. So it's just, you're gonna have to gauge this shot really well. It looks like he's probably going to kick 1 rail though and play it 3 rails around. Yeah. Where's this cue ball gonna bend to? Oh, it's perfect. Very perfect. I thought it might slide behind the 8, but
coming in and out of the jaws like that, anything can happen.
Yeah, he played it wonderfully. I mean, really, as far as gauging the slide and understanding the speed, shot was not as easy as he made it look.
And as much as anything, what a psychological blow to strike. Not just Shaw beating star name on the American team in the first match of the night, but doing so in a match that really Van Boening seemed to be on top in. Seemed to have the momentum with him. As we said, he could so easily have been 4-0 in front. As it was only 3-1. He fell 4-3 down. Got the better of the tactical exchange in rack 8 and managed to win it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he put himself in a position to win the match and only made 1 mistake. So you can't be mad about it. I mean, he's playing great, and Jayson's playing great. 1 or 2 rolls here or there, and this is what you have. 1 ball didn't slide and go in, and Jayson's out.
Such a dramatic and eventful opening night. More of the same is what we were hoping for this evening. We've got it in this opening match.
Good match to watch. Disappointing loss for Shane, but you know, got to give Jayson props. I mean, he did play well.
Jayson is a sure thing. Shane Van Boening has lost the Fans Choice match for the 3rd year in a row. Shaw wins by 5 racks to 4. Europe go 2 clear at 4 racks to 2 in Coventry.